Hey YouTube, working on my second battery bank. I should have already had up. I've had the batteries for weeks, and either it's been raining or I had something else going on or I was just being lazy. Well, somehow I hadn't got around to it yet. So, in case anybody didn't know, the best thing to use for cable is welding cable. You go to a welding supply shop, get your welding cable. See all those fine little wires? That's what you want. You don't want to go to Home Depot or something and get regular house wire for that. You need a high strand count to get the most voltage out of your batteries. I have 2 aught. I don't need it 2 aught for what I'm doing. I could get by with 4 very easily. But when I started my system, I started out with 12 volt. The lower the voltage, the bigger the wire you need. I went to 48 volt. Instead of replacing all my cables and wire and stuff, I just went ahead and stayed with it. Figured, what the hell? It's better to have too big a wire than too small. So I don't have a high dollar crimper. I just thought I'd show this little part. So I just crimped the wire. I got these lugs at the cable supply also. I mean welding supply also. I just want to show you my redneck way of crimping it. They do make crimpers for this, but this is going to be pretty much a one-time deal. Alright. For all practicality, that's probably all I need to do. But what I do is after I've crimped them all, I'm going to go in here with solder and I'm going to fill that up. Alright, let me turn the camera off and I'll get to doing that. Okay, on to the soldering. It takes a minute to get it hot enough. Like I said, I'm not saying you have to solder it. I just prefer to solder it. That way I got it crimped and soldered. And I know I'm getting the best, connection there. I'd rather have too much connection than not enough. I don't want any weak points. Isn't that cool? I'm not going to go through all of them. This ain't even a video on doing cables. I just thought I'd include this little part. So once you get done, whoo, that thing's hot. I got to do some of these are already done. There were some cables I had before and they were real long, so all I had to do is cut them off and put a new end on one end. So I also tried to keep them, the curve, the flat on the same side. Like that one, there's so much solder in that one, I could feel it all the way down in here. But anyway, so I have more cable making to do. Just thought I'd show you that little step. I'll continue with the battery. Hey YouTube, little solar power update. I have installed a second battery bank. These batteries, these Trojans and the Duracell, are part of the when I first started, and I expanded. Went to a 48 volt system for those that don't know. Anyway, so these 8 batteries here are tied in series. Negative to positive, blah, 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 all the way around. These 6 volt batteries all connected together give me 48 volts. Alright. And that was at around 225 amp hours. In case anybody knows what that means. I added a second battery bank. These are interstate batteries, deep cycle golf cart batteries. That's what all of them are. They're golf cart batteries. They're 6 volt batteries. So I tied all those in together. I got a real good deal on them. Only $89 a piece, and through a buddy of mine that's an auto mechanic, and he hooked me up with a interstate guy, and I was able to get a deal on them, and that's why I went with the interstate. Interstates are a really good car battery, so I assume these will be just as high quality. A couple other little nerdy things to talk about when you do solar. Make sure your cables are all the same length. Like where I tied all these in series, you know, they may not be perfectly the same length, but they're really, really close. And also these cables that I tied in the second battery bank, get my second battery bank into the first one and paralleled them. These are in series, these are in series. Then I tied the two banks together parallel. Well, the cables that I use to tie them in parallel, they're the same length that goes from the batteries to the inverter. I don't mean to talk over anybody's head or if you don't understand what I'm saying. I'm just saying that you need to keep all your cable lengths the same, keep everything as even as you can. It makes the system work better from all the reading I've done. So anyway, just a little update, and I'll probably go in and do a little update on my inverter and how things are going there. The batteries are a little wet. I was topping them off. I had to do a little battery maintenance. That's why you see water on them. It's just a little spillage of distilled water. So anyway, we got 16 freaking batteries. That's a lot of batteries. Okay, I've had a lot of people ask me about this Ames Global LF Series inverter. What do I think about it? How do I like it? I guess I can do a little bit of a review. How do I say this? I still wish they had made, and last time I looked, which was just the other day, they still don't make exactly what I wanted. They do make a 3,000 watt. I think it's in a different box. It don't have to be this big, so they put it in a little smaller box, but it's the same thing. Bill and Rosa at their website, Bill and Rosa's Off-Grid Cabin, I'm pretty sure that's what he has, but he's on 24 volts, and they don't offer that in 48 volts, and I was wanting to go 48 volts, so I kind of, this was the best route for me. But I will say, I'm happy with it. I do wish it had a little bit, you had a little bit more control over how it charges and stuff, but I can't complain. Overall, it works great. Like right now, I got the 110 coming to it, but it'll only kick on that charger when it needs to, when the voltage drops low enough. And it has done that several times here this past few days because it's been raining. So it kicks on and it does a charge. So it's kind of, from the best I can see, keeping up with it when I had days off, it maybe charges one time a day. It may charge a few hours, but it only charges, once a day is enough to keep up the batteries. Now that I got both battery banks hooked up and I got 450 amp hours of power, I would dare say that it'll probably kick on even half as much as it has been, because I don't have as much load just on those 8 batteries. Now I got 16 batteries hooked up. Still loving the Kid, the Midnight Solar Kid. As you can see, I only got 29 watts coming in right now, but like I said, I'm at 50 volts, so no big deal. It's kind of a bad time of year for me right now because it's fall. The sun's lower in the sky, and that's putting it behind the trees. And right now the leaves are still on the trees. So here in the next few weeks or month, when the leaves finally get off the trees, I'll get that more sunlight and do pretty good. So anyway, just a little solar update. Ames power inverter. The battery inverter is working great. Got my second bank up. I'm looking forward to see how it keeps up now. It's been keeping up great now. Like I said, this is a 6,000 watt inverter, way more than I need. Probably could get by with a, like I said, a 3,000 watt would have been awesome, but they just don't offer it at 48 volts. So this is what I got. Anyway, later YouTube.